When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast that begs the question, do you know what that phrase actually means?
Wait. Hello, everyone in the podcast universe, or begs the question?
Begs the question.
Oh, yeah. People use that so wrong.
Do you know what hello means? Have you heard of hello?
But people do use that wrong.
I know, and it bugs me every time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so Mike of you.
Okay, you think that you're the only one? I know grammar things, and anyway, we don't have to do this now.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality, and supposedly,
we're going to talk about Florida.
We're going to talk about the mullet state, Florida.
Like, we haven't done a location in a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, when we did Vermont in season 1,
in the early days,
we really opened the door to eventually having 50 episodes planned out for us already.
Oh, that's true.
So
but
we're just cashing one of those in now.
I like the idea of, like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Have we done Missouri? Like, it's like a good safe fallback.
Yep. But first, great news.
Yeah.
That seems abrupt. I'm doing the news from my phone this week. Does anybody care? Probably
Me.
not.
Because you could be texting. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, news the first.
Great.
Have you been watching Saturday Night Live this season?
No.
Okay. Well, I missed last night's, which was Adele, which I'm soups excited about. But do you know who Bill Burr is?
William Barr?
Yeah.
Is that his colloquial name?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Bill Burr and Bill Barr. They used to be Siamese twins, and then they got cut apart. He's from the King of Staten Island, and he guest hosted Saturday Night Live on October the 10th. And I watched it, and at the time thought his monologue was real bad. I didn't really let myself think about how bad until later. And then, anyway, so in his monologue, he said that he came to New York last year shooting a movie and, quote, "I hadn't been here in like 13 years. I immediately noticed how extra crowded the city was. So I walked up to this New York door guy and was like, what's with all these people here? Don't worry," he goes, "it's June. It's Pride Month." I'm like, what's that? I'm 52. I've never heard of it. First of all, you've never fucking heard of Pride Month? I mean, if anybody has not heard of Pride Month, it would be this middle-aged white cis dude, straight
That's true.
guy.
That's true. Florida maybe is why we're talking about that.
But and the doorman goes, "It's Gay Pride Month," and I was just like, oh, it's Gay Pride Month. Tank tops, 0% body fat, 2 guys kissing, rainbow flags. So far, I'm good. I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all the stereotypes we talk about.
Yep.
So I can't be mad at him.
He continued, quote, "The month of June is Gay Pride Month. That's a little long, don't you think, for a group of people that were never enslaved?"
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
This is on national television, live. "How did they get all of June? Black people were actually enslaved, and they get February. They get 28 days of overcast weather." That made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah.
Why did we give black people February? That seems like a really pretty shitty deal.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know what you say to that. Like how. First of all, not the person to make that joke, right? Which we talk about a lot. Like, there are a lot of things that you can joke about, but you have to be the right person.
Yeah.
Because this has the appearance of a straight white cis guy, the most privileged class in the United States, punching down.
Yeah.
Right, at both black people and queer people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I think I'm fine with it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if it just stopped at that, like, I'm fine with jokes that may, like, come across as offensive or whatever if you're making a point about it, and he's making a point about Black History Month being shorter than everything else. Like, I don't know. I think it's funny.
To clarify, June is Pride Month because June is when Stonewall happened. February is Black History Month because it started as Negro History Week and fell in the week that Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass's birthdays happened. So that's why they got February. They chose February because of historic meaning, just like gay people chose June for historic meaning.
So it's their fault.
let's give them February and like the first few days of March. Like that would be fair, I think.
Like maybe we should give them all of March for like 20 or 30 years to make up for
it's like daylight savings time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think it was a bold choice on his part.
No, I get why people would not like that, and that's the kind of like edge that not everyone's going to agree with, and you probably know that going into it.
Yeah. Yeah. He also, you should watch it. I just like his delivery is obtuse, straight cis white guy. Like he says like misogynistic things on a fairly regular basis because I think he thinks he's making a commentary about it, but then you also get the impression that he actually believes that shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live. Next. Yeah. Okay. I think this is really great. So there is a race for a Texas school board. Omar Leos, a member of the school board for San Antonio's Northeast Independent School District, is being targeted with anti-gay messaging in support of his conservative opponent, Ione McGinty. So these mailers went out. You know, they look like this that have
so many mailers recently.
God,
text messages, mailers, emails.
And you only check your mail like twice a year. So
it's a stack. It's like, have you voted in the 2018 elections?
Yeah. So, okay. In this little section, in the About Opponent section on this mailer, she's saying these are reasons you should not vote for this dude. Says, first of all, no children in the school district. Second, married, with quotes around it, to same-sex man.
Married to opposite gender man in a feat described as impressive.
Voted to block school choice options, which that's a dog whistle for like giving money to religious schools. Voted to reaffirm radical sex ed in 2020. That's going on in Washington State this election too.
Like teaching kids shit they need to know. Yeah.
Okay, so interestingly enough, she has no children in the school district.
I was going to say that one seems valid because you get a unique perspective if your child is in the system. Not saying then pick them, but anyway.
She has 6 children and they are homeschooled, which is how she gets to say she's a lifelong educator.
Oh, fuck. I homeschool my dog. I'm a lifelong a 10 years educator.
Oh my God. Anyway, but the frosting on this cake is the married, quote unquote married to same-sex man. What does that mean?
I think that has to be a thing where it's like, what words do we need to say to really rile people up? And it's like married to man. It's like, but do they know he's a man? Okay, no, we need to put same sex in there so they know defo gay.
Yeah.
Or bi.
Yeah. It smacks of like, well, we shouldn't say that they're faggot married. So how can we do this, get around that?
I want to have a boyfriend just so I can get faggot married. I love it.
Oh, God. So she declined to condemn the messages and claimed that people offended by them are heterophobic. Quote, I think that's ridiculous. I think they're heterophobic, and I think those remarks are Christian phobic because they're not respecting someone that has a different belief. She defended the wording suggesting the quotation marks around marriage were used because the group believes in, quote, the biblical definition of marriage is between a man and a woman. We are getting close to the election. I'm going to have a hard time being not political.
No, do it.
We kind of have tried off and on to at least keep it down.
No, I think I'm totally past my political fears because at this point shit's so fucked for gay people that I think it's harder not harder, but it's like if we're going to talk about this shit, we have to talk about politics. Like, yeah.
Well, so
Anyway.
we're going to repeat a dead horse that we've been beating for a while.
Great.
The Republican Party, the National Republican Party, says that marriage is between one man and one woman, and that judicial activism should be used to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges.
Right.
If you vote Republican, you might be voting for other reasons, but you are also voting for that.
Yep.
You're directly voting for taking away Kyle and I's right to get married to each other or to other people.
You don't know what we want to do eventually. And that was, they had the opportunity to update that just recently when they had their, meeting thing.
Convention.
Sure.
Yeah. In Florida.
Really?
It was supposed to be in Florida.
It all ties together.
It was going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, and then it got shut down because COVID.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Republicans shut down a meeting, a gathering. That's weird. But yeah, so it is not like a just leftover thing. It is recently this year decided to stay in there.
Yep. They are also in Texas. There's a bunch of anti-LGBT rhetoric about a more important race. The 23rd.
Black.
Yeah, boy howdy. Black Lives Matter, kids. Gina Ortiz Jones is running as a Democrat in the 23rd Congressional District. And she is a lesbian military veteran.
Damn.
And the Republicans are running ads saying that she's pro use of military funds for gender confirmation surgeries. Like that's a bad thing and she needs to be stopped.
Yeah. It's fun how military members are great until they're gay, and then the right loves them until they're gay.
Yep. Pete Buttigieg.
Also, San Antonio is a super gay city.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've talked about this.
How much gay have you done there?
Well, okay. To be fair, I've only been there when I was a kid.
Oh,
so only a little bit gay.
Great. Moving on. News of the last?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do you know who Nadia Hussein is?
Nope.
Nadia of Great British Bake Off fame.
No.
Okay.
Still no.
Well,
wait, didn't she win one year?
She won,
and she cried. I loved it. It was so sweet. It was the most adorable winning. Oh, I'm worried you're going to say something terrible.
No.
Okay.
No.
She just said I'm never going to doubt myself again. I can do anything I want. Like when she won, and it was the coolest moment of I remember that and love it.
Basically, you and I are on Great British Bake Off right now, just so you know. As a practical matter, it's almost already happened.
Great.
There's so many layers to this story, and I'm super excited about it. So Nadia Hussein, who won the 2015 season of Bake Off, was on the show Hits Radio Breakfast, hosted by James Barr of Gay and Non-Gay fame.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So our friends over at Gay and Non-Gay, apparently the gay one, hosts a breakfast show called Hits Radio.
The same-sex man in that podcast.
And had Nadia on, and they talked about a controversy I was unaware of until today, that apparently Paul Hollywood and his co-host Judge Prue were talking about rainbow bagels.
Oh, I saw that episode.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a controversy about it because apparently Paul Hollywood said, quote, "I think the rainbow colors for me, although it originated over in the States, I think it represents the NHS, their National Health Service." And Prue laughed, "Well, it does now. Ha ha ha." And then they went on to agree that the rainbow bagels are happy bread, which was the closest they came to acknowledging that the 6-color rainbow has been established as a symbol of LGBT pride since 1978. Basically, they had to have known, right? This is just like Bill Barr or Burball, whatever the guy's the guy in the first news
story. This is like that furball.
How do you not know what pride is?
Well, I think this is a problem not with them, but with the NHS, right? I don't totally follow it, but I think the NHS started using rainbow.
They had the rainbow bus. The NHS made a rainbow bus and was driving it all over the UK.
Oh. Unrelated to gay people?
Unrelated to gay people.
Okay.
And they got a bunch of flack for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think Prue said something right. Well, at least now it does. The joke of, I don't know. Anyway, I heard that, noticed it, didn't care. But Britons know more about what they think. Britons know more about Britain than I do, believe it or not.
So our very good friend James Barr asked her about her response to Paul Hollywood's choice of words. And she said, quote, "Is that what he called it?" She laughed. "Why did he call it an NHS bagel? Reference it properly, for goodness sakes. But also, I do like a rainbow bagel, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
We're inclusive. We are inclusive. And I think if you're going for rainbows, when I make or buy rainbow bagels, I will cut them in half, smear cream cheese vanilla, and then sprinkle birthday rainbow sprinkles all on top. Like, if you're going to go rainbow and gay, you've got to go all the way." She's a real sweetheart and is an ally and was mystified as well. I just liked her whole thing about like, how gay can you make your bagel? Let's do it. And I also think it's noteworthy that there are a lot of people in this country and in the UK who are Islamophobes. And she's an openly proud Muslim and has no problem supporting gay people because, like every religion, sure, there are conservative fuckfaces, but there are people that are decent, honorable, wonderful people as well.
I make fun of Christianity mostly because that's what I've grown up around and has influenced the U.S. But fuck all religions. So I don't want to contain my dislike for religion.
Yeah. Although, did you see we lost a patron because we're too mean to Christians?
No, we did.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Just speaking of patrons, if you want to not subscribe to Patreon because we're too mean to Christians, I guess go to patreon.com/gayish podcast. And I did that in a weird order.
And then you too can Parker our love. It's great.
And I want to thank Patreon members. What? Hey, Mike.
Parker is the Polari word of the week.
Oh, I was breezing past it. Okay.
Parker is the Polari word of the week, and it means to pay out, to give money.
Oh,
it comes from Italian pagare, meaning to pay.
Oh, pagar, that's Spanish for to pay.
Yep. So Parker, if you want to,
that's like the name, not parkour, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I used it incorrectly because I was like, "Ooh, we're talking about money. I
can
use this word."
No, that was great.
Yeah. If you Parker us in some cold hard cash, we'll Parker you some additional content.
We'll pay you content. Yeah. So thank you to Nathan Daniel Brungart.
That's a made up name.
DT. I know, right? Who are you really, Nathan? Paige H.
Oh,
I think H is just her full last name.
Yeah.
Fothrism? Fothrism? Fothrism?
Fothrism?
I don't know. It's with a PH if that helps. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Jeff Embleton.
Jeff Embleton.
Embleton. That's a fake last name too.
Yeah.
And Philip Steinbacher. It's all capital.
Oh.
Really wanted to lock that in. So thank you to all of our patrons. Parker us some parks.
Yeah. While we are talking about Patreon, just so everyone knows, if you are a subscriber at any level, you are welcome to join us for our quarterly Zoom call. You get a chance to interact with Kyle and fucking Dan and I.
But more interesting is the other. Well, I mean, yes, we're there, but all the other Patreon members who show up are more interesting than us.
Yeah, we basically listen to y'all and just get drunk.
Yeah,
but
it's a blast.
I'm expecting it to be extra sloppy this time because it is on November the 4th at 6 p.m. Pacific, which for everyone is the day after the national election in the United States. So be sure to vote, people. Fucking vote. Yeah. Even if you don't live here, vote.
Any ballot. Send someone tweeted this thing like, we need to start voter suppressing like Republicans, like kids, like say to your parents, I'll take your ballot in and mail it for you, and then never do it, or lie and say like it's happening over Scantron or something.
Which is what the Republicans were trying to do in California. Have you been following that story at all?
It's just everything that pops up is like trying to throw away this, trying to add fake booths that, trying to stand armed guards here.
Because they're running scared.
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic, Kyle. If you join at even the entry level, which is $2 a month, you can join us for that quarterly Zoom call. And being the day after the election, I'm sure there's going to be plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Florida?
Yeah. Speaking of elections, let's talk about Florida.
Yep. The meth gator state.
Did you look up? Did you write down a bunch of Florida-isms?
Yes.
I'm excited. Are you going to rainbow sprinkle them throughout?
Yes, absolutely. Well, last time, so when we did Vermont, we used a lot of actual state mottos that were the wrong ones.
Oh.
And so I'm not using actual state mottos. I've just full on fucking invented some.
If you told me it was the meth gator state, I wouldn't be surprised. Neither would any Floridian.
Great.
Who wants to go first? Oh, the reason we're talking about this is Florida is a swing state, meaning it can go Democrat or Republican. It's one of a handful of states that do that, so they're particularly important to the election.
Yeah, that's a decent segue. Actually.
Oh, great!
I was gonna talk about Florida, its role in the election.
Oh, sure.
And a brief primer on the Electoral College, because as a person with a degree in government, one thing I get asked the most about is the Electoral College. Why is it?
Why Electoral College?
And how does it work?
Before you start, I'll just say I think it's dumb. So we'll see if this changes my mind or anything.
Okay, great. I do want to be brief. This is it's not fun stuff to talk about, but I think it might be useful for especially our international listeners and probably most of the people that live here too, because it's not really something people understand. The way the Constitution is written, the United States Constitution, we do not elect the President of the United States or Vice President of the United States by popular vote. The states are given the power to allocate their votes in the Electoral College, which, because of a number of fucked up things that I'm going to talk about, gives different power to different states, and it is not based purely on population. All but 2 states have chosen to give all of their electoral votes to the winner of the popular vote in that state. So it simplifies it a bit, but it's still fucked up. I'm going to go into why in a little bit.
Meaning someone wins 51% of the state and all the votes go to that person.
Correct. 50% plus 1. Yep. That's. I think that there are a couple of plurality states in there. It could be 49 to 49 to 2, and whichever of the 49%ers got one more vote wins. Anyway, so there are 538 Electoral College votes.
The worst Rent song ever.
Yeah, I love that. We should write that. I'm adding 525,600 minutes to the Spotify playlist.
Oh, great. Yep.
There are 538 Electoral College votes. The reason I like that number is because 538 is by far the best website out there for monitoring polls and doing predictions for how the election is going to turn out.
Scruff is the best place for monitoring polls.
Yeah, absolutely. Hands down. Or a urologist's office. Anyway, how they get to that number is every state gets one Electoral College vote for how many members they have in the House of Representatives. There are 435 members in the House of Representatives. Each state gets them as closely as possible, divided by population. That part's fair. So I think, oh God, we're talking about Florida. I should have looked up and memorized it. Florida has, I think, 26 Electoral College votes. Dan can correct me.
20. They have 29 now.
Okay, so they have 27 Electoral College votes because of the number of representatives that they have.
Yep.
Then, and Washington has 9. Then every state on top of that gets 2 more for their senators. That leads us to 535. And then, because we want to be fair to the District of Columbia, because there's millions of people that live in the District of Columbia and they have no representation in Congress, we throw them a bone and we give them 3 Electoral College votes.
I didn't know they had Electoral College votes.
So that's how you get to 538.
Washington has 12 total electoral votes, not 11 total.
Oh, interesting. We must be getting bigger then. It was 11 for a really long time. Great. We have 10 representatives and 2 senators. That's how we get 12.
And I'm going to assume Puerto Rico gets 0.
Puerto Rico gets 0. They are not a state.
Well, neither does DC, but yeah.
Yep. Hopefully we get that changed.
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
So now it is entirely possible for the Electoral College to be 269 to 269. If and when that happens, shit is fucked, yo. It goes to the House of Representatives to be decided by a very complicated process that I don't necessarily want to go into. But that whole system was put together because slavery. And I hope people know that. That you had southern states that were more agrarian and relied on indentured servitude and slavery to get stuff done. And when we were cobbling together the country, we had to make concessions to them in order to secure their participation in the Union. So the original 13 colonies were trying to figure out how do we give states that have land but not people more power. They explicitly, expressly, on purpose, made it non-democratic. I think states have outlived their usefulness, which I think I've said before.
I agree.
Like, why do we have them?
Yeah.
People from Oregon and people from Washington are virtually indistinguishable from each other.
Yeah.
Like,
in that we're all pretentious faggots.
yeah. Yep. Okay, so the end of that is to say Florida, Pennsylvania, there are a handful of states that are, as you said, swing states.
Yep.
Could go either way.
Yep.
On the day of the election. And what happened in the year 2000, when we didn't know who won, Bush or Gore, for weeks, until weeks after the election, was because Florida was too close to call, and neither candidate had a majority until Florida was called. So it all came down to Florida, the dick of the United States.
The flaccid.
Yeah. And it is entirely possible that that will happen this year. 538 has this thing that they call the snake chart. And what the snake chart is, let me get back to it.
I went to their site and almost started playing with it, but then I was like, this is too beyond Florida for me to deal with. Like, they had a thing where you could select how you think every state's going to go to kind of like start to predict.
Yeah, which is fun.
Well, depending on what you define fun as.
Yeah, I think it's fun. The closer you get to the middle, the more swing statey it is. And then there's a black line through the middle of the snake that represents the 270 electoral vote line, which is what you need to win outright. Right now, the tipping point is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a state to watch. Florida is basically touching the line. Florida is on the line. So my prediction, I'll say it now.
Great.
Whichever candidate wins Florida is going to win the election. So get your shit together, Florida.
Hey.
That's why we're fucking talking to you now.
Hey, Florida. Yeah, and the shitty thing about having like all that set up is swing states mean the candidates focus really hard on like 5 or 6 states.
I am so happy we don't live in a swing state, Kyle.
So you don't have to deal with that shit.
We don't get mailers from the national race. We don't have to watch hours and hours of commercials about this lie or that lie or that like ominous music with people like watching children die or whatever. Like, we don't have to suffer through political ads. Basically, Washington hasn't gone for a Republican since Ronald Reagan. They've given up. Everyone just understands Washington, Oregon, and California. Yeah, that's going blue.
Yeah, for sure. That actually leads well into this. I was going to say, so very recently, Barack Obama went to North Miami.
I heard him.
Yeah, he like talks and gives good speeches and tells true things, but is like respectful and, a lot of great things. So he went there this past Saturday. He mocked Trump by saying, Florida man wouldn't even do this stuff. So I asked myself, that begs the question.
Oh, God.
What would Florida man do?
Oh, God.
So I have a list of my favorite Florida man topics relating to gay people.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. So let's start with Florida man convinced school tests will turn students gay.
Worked on me.
That's true. Maybe it's a point.
So wait, to back up a little bit, does everybody understand Florida man?
Oh, no, you say it while I fix my mic.
So the Florida man meme is Florida has a reputation, y'all.
Yeah.
And so that reputation is for whatever the most ridiculous, like probably white trash and or drug induced things happen in Florida. And then when they run the headline of what happened there in national news, it's inevitably Florida man insert fucked up thing here.
Yeah.
And so, and it happens often enough, like a lot of stereotypes come with a little grain of truth in them.
Yeah.
It happened enough times that Florida man became this synonym for you won't believe this fucking shit that just went down, because it's always fucking Florida.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the reason it's not that Florida is more fucked up than everywhere else. It's Florida's policy. Like they, I think allow or put out more information in the news or something that allows them to cover this stuff. So it's more about like what people know and are allowed to cover compared to other states.
They air their dirty laundry more?
I guess so. Sometimes
Great.
literally, probably.
Yeah. Florida man eats dirty underwear or whatever.
Probably. Yeah, so Test Make You Gay, Representative Charles Van Zandt, they were moving to a new testing.
Didn't he drop peanuts?
Charles Schultz?
Okay, go ahead.
A new testing. They moved to a new testing system that this dude did not like. It seemed like something like you go to their site and they might say anything about like, I don't know, like their curriculum was like modern. Although it was fucked up because the testing place, AIR, was like, no. We just have like more modern like information. We don't promote the gay and lesbian lifestyle. Oh, so no one helped. Like it didn't work either way.
Hey Kyle.
Hey Mike.
Are you really going to throw out AIR? Like that's something you say all the time?
I didn't want to write down the full name of this company.
Oh, that's a company.
Oh yeah. AIR is the company that they moved to the testing thing that doesn't promote the gay or lesbian lifestyle.
Got it. Go ahead. I thought you were saying as I recall.
Oh, AIR. That's actually would be, because makes sense.
You totes abbreviates shit sometimes.
Yeah, just a little bit. I was trying to think of an abbreviation for that, but I couldn't. Okay, next one. Florida man arrested after writing anti-gay remark on restaurant receipt, stuffing it down manager's blouse, fleeing scene.
Oh my God.
In 2019.
Wow.
So this man ate dinner, got his check. He wrote in the tip line, he didn't give a tip, and then wrote, if he weren't gay. So the male waiter went to, probably the same sex male waiter, went to the manager, who's a female. She went out like outside and I think it's interesting that he was okay eating the entire meal and staying there. It's just when it came to tipping that gay was a problem. Sure. So when the manager went outside and approached him, he got very belligerent and angry and stuffed it down this manager's blouse and like groping and assaulting her.
Oh my God.
In the process.
Wow.
Tip your gay waiters, everybody.
Yeah. Just the tip.
Florida men, one disguised in bull costume, allegedly tried to burn down ex-boyfriend's home with spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, I talked about this on the show.
Okay, I was going to see if you remembered that. I started reading that. I was like, wait. Yeah, you talked about that at some point. I don't remember, but that's okay. This one is not fun. Florida man allegedly abandoned boy on highway because he thought he was gay. It's 2019. Yeah, so the guy...
Can we adopt him?
Well, he lives with his mom, so we have to. I think we're a few steps away from getting.
We'll put us on the waiting list.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy suspected his son was gay, so he dropped him off at a police station with no food, water, or cell phone, just some clothes.
So fucking awful.
And then it's like, and turns out he wasn't that great of a person. So like he ended up fleeing. He had two other children that he just left at home alone, and then so his wife or the mom or something took the kids.
What the fuck is wrong with people that I can't imagine my child, of which I have none, saying or doing anything that would lead me to hurt them, abandon them. Like, they could come home and tell me that they are Republican, and I would still, I would work on fixing that.
Yeah, we'd have some talks, but
I would love them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't what is wrong with people that's even on the table?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember very distinctly when I was a kid, one night, my dad was like coming to say goodnight or whatever, and we were talking, and he told me, I would love you even if you killed someone. He was like, so it was like, he was really saying like, I absolutely will love you unconditionally.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. And it was true, because even when I first came out and it was really hard with my parents, they still said I love you all the time. So yeah, fuck that guy. Florida man says he wants to, quote, marry my porn-filled Apple computer in federal gay marriage case. I think you can see where this is going.
I'm hoping that he's like legit, that it's not just trying to make a statement about marriage not meaning anything anymore, but he like actually loves his man.
Well, Yeah,
No?
don't hope too
Okay,
hard
okay,
because
great.
it's not. This isn't.
Fuck.
I know. I appreciate the willingness to try to give him some credit. This is in 2014. Sevier, I guess is his last name, says that if gay couples, quote, have the right to marry their object of sexual desire, even if they lack corresponding sexual parts, then I should have the right to marry my preferred sexual object.
Good Lord.
Which this is one of those things that I've seen, especially recently. People saying, like, if you compare gay people to bestiality or what have you, like, that is a good sign that you see marriage as a man taking an object, not a consenting adult relationship.
Yeah, where I thought you were going, and what comes to mind for me is if you're saying I want to marry my Mac, or why not marry a dog, or why not marry a 4-year-old, you don't understand that it's about consent.
Right.
You have to have the ability to offer informed consent to be married to somebody. None of those other 3 categories meet that bar.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Stuff it up your fucking ass, you shitbag.
Or stuff it up your Apple computer. You can do that if you want. I'm not here to judge.
Yeah.
Well, I am a little bit because you're an asshole. Florida man.
Sorry. I was going to try to hold it together on that one, and then that made it worse. Okay, go ahead.
Accused of kicking chicken like a football.
Oh, no. Great.
This one is also like, it shouldn't be funny, but it's just animal. Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Animal abuse is not funny.
It's not.
It's just ridiculous. This is in this year. There was a domestic argument between this guy and his girlfriend. So where the police were called in. The connection to being gay is this is the same guy. He was arrested in 2018 for allegedly threatening to blow up a gay woman's house after she refused his sexual advances.
Oh, God.
So I think he's angry.
Yeah. He sounds like a mad person.
Had some kind of complex.
Yeah.
So police came because there was some kind of altercation. They found that she was up. The reason the argument started is the girlfriend was upset because he kicked a chicken. A witness stated that they saw him kick the chicken in a way a football player would kick a field goal, which is a very descriptive.
Yeah, yes. It paints a picture.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The sergeant on the scene found the chicken standing on one. Sorry, this cannot. It's just, why is this funny? The sergeant.
The cartoon version of this is hilarious.
That's true. That's true. The Tom and Jerry episode. The sergeant on this. Okay. The sergeant on the scene found the chicken standing on one leg. They took it to the vet. It had 4 broken ribs. And eventually, though, the chicken, whose name is Hun, was reunited with its owner.
Oh.
And consumed the very next day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This is the last one, and it's my favorite, which is why I saved it.
Yeah.
For this. Florida man tells cops gun stolen from wild gay weekend orgy.
I love it.
This was, I know, right? This was last year. Apparently, this dude.
Okay.
Hey, Mike.
Have you thought about buying a gun?
Wait. You're asking this because you know the answer, right?
Yes.
I hate guns. I will never live in. That is a relationship deal breaker to me. I will never live in a house with a gun. Absolutely not.
What if Trump wins?
Gun me up, bitches.
I'm in the same boat. I hate guns. I don't like them, and I don't want to have one in my home or anywhere that my kids visit. Which again, I don't have kids. Why am I parenting so much this episode?
It's just you. Yeah.
But I've like had daydreams at least about like I might need a gun. I don't think I'm like ridiculous for thinking that either. Like it's a scary, scary time for gay people in this country, and I'm super nervous that anxiety is coming out in weird ways, like me shopping on Ammo magazine.
Is that a real gun magazine?
It probably is.
It has to be, right? If it's not, we're starting a gun magazine. No, I think like I understand the source of the fear or like why you would get anxiety. I mean, I think getting a gun is an extreme reaction that, like, I mean, you know, some of those instincts may not make logical sense if you really think about it, because guns are more likely to injure the people that are in the home rather than actually defend from someone.
If my roommate doesn't move out soon.
If he winds up dead after a weekend orgy, so this guy posted on Grindr, this kind of like house party thing. Anyone can show up, like you can give a fake name or even no name. Why are you squinting at me?
I'm throwing an orgy. Bring your guns. Like
the gun belonged to the guy that lived there.
Oh, okay. Well,
so so apparently there were like about 20 people. He only knew like 5 to 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So someone, and he doesn't know who, took the gun.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wonder if anyone...
It's quite the alibi.
Oh my God. Do you think he lost his gun or did something weird with it and then set up an orgy to cover himself? I mean,
yeah. I couldn't have killed that person. I don't have that gun anymore. Someone stole it at my orgy.
And like when you say certain things, people are like, he can't be lying about losing a gun in an orgy. No one lies. Like no one would say that if, probably lock up your guns if you're going to have an orgy, or like, your personal possessions
or lock your guns up all the time, always.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Sorry. Always lock your guns up, but sure.
Good Lord.
Those are some gay Florida man headlines.
Great. Every once in a while, we end up accidentally doing exactly the same segment. This is close.
Oh,
close. I was just going to really quickly. We'll do it fast.
That's what I say to every guy I hook up with.
There are multiple places where you can just look up the Florida man story for a given date, and I was just going to go over the 2020 entries for our birthdays.
Did I ruin it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
So here we go. Can I say your birthday?
Yeah.
Kyle's birthday is April 9th. Orange County, Florida. Deputies said the man who killed another man with an axe in a fight over lottery tickets and beer was arrested Friday night. The attack was reported at this address. They said the victim, identified as John Stubbs, 69, and suspect Joseph Robinson, 45, got into a fight. The victim tried to walk away. Deputies said Robinson obtained an axe, walked over to Stubbs, and attacked him with the weapon. Relatives of Stubbs said he had 11 children and his wife died of cancer 6 months ago.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Great.
Was the lottery ticket at least a winner?
You'd hope so, right?
Beer's not that good.
That's true. That's his straightest of the week.
God.
Axe murder over a beer. Let's see. Fucking Dan coming up on November 12th. Oh, can I say your birthday, Dan? Yeah, okay. Coming up on November 12th. A 39-year-old man shot another 39-year-old man in the foot Tuesday evening at a bar after the victim refused a shot of alcohol that the gunman had offered him. They were called to Frank's Place on North Clark Road. Surveillance footage shows the victim darting around a corner while the suspect pivots and starts firing at the bar, which was filled with patrons. Quote, what's really concerning is how close he was when he shot and the number of times he shot and his disregard for what his backdrop was. At one point, he actually was putting other customers in danger as well.
Oh, when he was shooting his gun wildly? You think other people might have been in danger too? It's crazy.
Oh, God.
Jesus, a lot of alcohol-based disasters.
Yeah, here, I want you to take this shot. No. Fucking take this shot. Oh, man. Yeah, it's like hanging out with you on Pride. And last but not least, my birthday, just 2 days after fucking Dan's, is November 14th. Police in Florida say a man disguised himself as a woman and fraudulently purchased a puppy from a pet store.
Wait. You said a lot of things.
Yeah. According to police, Bryant Barfin used a stolen credit card and stolen Florida driver's license to buy a fawn-colored French bulldog valued at several $1,000s from a store in Largo.
Wow.
He falsified adoption records and misled store employees regarding the dog's future home. And police are advising anyone who purchased a French bulldog from Farfan to contact police and the store to determine whether it was the stolen dog. But yeah, he disguised himself as a woman to buy this fancy-ass bulldog.
So why did he, I guess that was his disguise?
Yeah. So he had a driver's license that was a woman.
Oh, God.
So he dressed like a woman to use this driver's license so that they couldn't trace it back to him.
Yeah. He had just watched Some Like It Hot, and he felt inspired.
Yeah. Which it didn't work in the 40s. It's not working now.
Nope.
Anyway, yeah. So that's our birthdays for Florida Man.
I love it and I hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about Florida being gay.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of, it's interesting, being a swing state. I actually think that like plays.
It's a swinger.
It's a swinger. He loves tea parties. No, I think it's reflective, and there are a lot of these like dualities that exist that are interesting and weird. And like, I didn't, there are a bunch of different things that I could have said or topics I picked that was like, wow, this shows like this big, contrast in the different areas. And so that's what makes it state.
My mental map goes, and oh God, hopefully we offend somebody. The northern Florida is redneck NASCAR conservatives. The middle of the state is Disney World. And then the bottom of the state is Miami, where all of the cool, awesome brown people are.
So this city that I'm going to talk about is Wilton Manors, which is in the South.
Great.
It is the unofficial LGBT capital of South Florida.
Okay.
So Soup's gay.
How can we make that official, Kyle?
That's true.
We've said we should put together our own awards show.
Yeah. I mean, making it official is just one person, a third party claiming it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I hereby claim, well, even South Florida, that's not even that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the official LGBT capital of Florida, the full state.
Great.
All of it.
Excellent.
Email. What about this state? Or what about this city? What about that city? This is what I think is interesting about this city. And part of the kind of just the interesting part within this city, it's a population of just under 13,000 people. In 2018, it became.
Which you would expect a gay capital to have more people.
That's part of the interesting thing is that, like when you think about gay cities and all the lists that it's really annoying, all the lists that say what are the gayest cities, they tend to focus on the raw numbers, which is not represent like the percentages is what you want to look at to figure out how gay it is. We don't have gay on the census, so they usually based on same-sex households or estimates, which sucks.
Maybe we'll count in 2030, Kyle.
Here's hoping. Or do I just want to be invisible to the government?
Yeah,
you can't see me.
It depends on whether I own a gun or not, I think.
That's true. If you get a gun, I'm hosting a gay orgy here. So it's a some of the gayer cities that I saw have maybe around a 4%. That's kind of on the higher side, like a 4% number of gay people. This Wilton Manors has 14% of their population is same-sex couples.
Wow.
So second in the nation for gay couples.
Okay.
Based on the 2010 census.
Okay. They're all lesbians, right?
Sure. No, I don't know.
That's the stereotype that lesbians couple up and they nest together forever.
Yes. They build a nest out of wood. Actually. Okay, so in 2018, it became the second city in the country to elect an all LGBT commission.
After Palm Springs.
Yes. I was actually going to ask you. Yeah. Which, so then I looked up Palm Springs is a population of 48,000. So bigger, but still like, they're not these giant.
We went there in November.
Meccas. Yeah.
It felt bigger than that.
Oh, well, yeah, you were wrong.
Great.
Incorrect.
We were there during Pride, so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. You're right.
You walked up to a doorman and said, why are there so many people here? Yeah. I've never heard of this. What I think is interesting, so one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is I'm thinking that there's a draw to some of these smaller places that you don't traditionally think of. It's not San Francisco, New York, Seattle. And that's just really interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's there's got to be something to this. And part of what I was thinking is Florida is stereotypically older people. So I thought, is this a place gay people go to retire?
Florida, the Golden Girls state.
I love it. Florida, thank you for being a friend. So I thought it was old people, but it's not really. So as of 2000, the median age is 40. Okay. The highest percentage of like population is 25 to 44 age range. So over a third of people are in the 25 to 44 age range.
Yeah. Okay.
And 16% are over 65. So it's not that it's all old people retiring there. There's something else about it. And I think, well, I guess what this article said that credited that the gayness of that place to is Georgie's Alibi, which was the first major gay bar in that city. It was opened in 1997. It was before that, it was a boarded up shell of a shuttered bank, which that's to me the gayest thing. Like to go find a bank and then fix it up into a gay bar.
Yeah,
like,
but keep the drive-through tellers that you can sell cocktails out the drive-through window.
Nowadays, that would be booming.
Yep.
So that's one of the things that is credited to why this became kind of a gay place to be and place to go. And okay, this may sound a little bit cheesy, but that also told me that one person can make a difference. Someone opening up this gay bar, it may not have been 100% of the reason, but people are saying that's a big influence on why they moved there. So one person opening a bar made a big difference in the gay world. Yeah. And I think sometimes I think of like we're past the time where I can make that big of a difference in the gay world. Like you think of like MLK for Black people or Harvey Milk for gay people. Like those people already happened. And so now we're all just, I don't know. Does that
sure? Yeah.
So it is like, it's still today, or at least in 1997, like one person can make a big difference.
Yeah.
And it's so.
Yeah, like I think about all of these little towns that are starting to have their first pride, and they're in the middle of fucking rural Wisconsin or whatever, and some person takes the initiative and does it, and then there are all of these success stories. Like it goes okay. Yeah, like they don't. The million moms don't show up to counter protest or whatever. And
like 5, they can't actually show up in person. They just have to be on Facebook.
Yeah,
Otherwise you'd be like, that I can count, and that's not. But yeah, I think you're right in that. More and more people are able to come out even in rural places. We actually talked about this on the debt episode, why the average income of gay people is going down, and it's not because it really is just people are more able to come out. So I think partly people can come out more places in the country, which is cool. Yeah. And I also think then that leads to not everyone wants to live in a big city. Not everyone wants to live in San Francisco. And maybe we've had to go there in the past because like you would get hate crimes if you didn't, it was safety. And I'm not saying it's done and that's like fixed, but more and more you can live in these other places and you're more accepted. Yeah. And it turns out not only can you be accepted, but the entire fucking commission can be all LGBT people, and it can end up being super gay. So I really liked that. I really thought that broke the stereotype, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I've thought a couple of times about, and there's reasons for this. I think a lot of people are going through a similar calculus of like, COVID moved everybody to working from home. I've been working from home. That's been going great. And why do I live in like the most expensive city ever?
Yeah.
When I could make the same amount of money that I make somewhere where the cost of living is dirt ass cheap.
Yeah.
Having to break up with you, notwithstanding.
Oh yeah. Like, other than the fact that I told you you're not allowed to do that.
it would make financial sense, right? But then the immediate obstacle to that, other than you, is, but then I would have to live in a small ass town with no gay people, and that would fucking suck. But that's a stereotype that isn't necessarily borne out in reality. There's at least two now, this Floridian town and Palm Springs, where it's small and is gay as fuck. So,
but we do get enough people that write in that say, I don't like, one of the reasons I like your podcast is that I don't have other gay friends in my area. Sure. So I, it is still a consideration, still a factor. Yeah. But you're right. That seems like that's shifting.
Okay. I'm going to talk about the history of sodomy laws in Florida.
Great.
And the punchline here really is just that, like a lot of states, all sodomy laws were rendered invalid in
Lawrence v. Texas in 2004.
I think it was 2005.
But still, I wanted you to be impressed with me.
Yeah, no, I was.
2003.
2003.
Damn.
Great.
But I was closer than you.
You were.
That's all I care about.
So yeah, Lawrence v. Texas overturned all sodomy laws, basically saying that the Constitution gives us a right to privacy when it comes to what happens in our bedrooms. And despite that, there are whole swaths of states in a certain part of the country, including Florida, that still have those sodomy laws on the books.
Because at the time, some states had said, nah, it's cool fucking the butt, but other states like that forced them, the federal thing overwrote those states' laws.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that people, I think, don't quite know about the way our system works is the Supreme Court of the United States can strike down laws via a landmark decision, but it doesn't actually like erase them out of each state's law books. All it does is says that those laws are unenforceable. So if they tried to arrest somebody for butt sex, it wouldn't stand up in court because of this court decision, but the law still exists.
Yeah, they still have their state constitution that says butt sex, no, no, no.
Yep, exactly. So then it's incumbent on the state to change their laws to be in compliance with Supreme Court rulings. And especially when it comes to sodomy, no. A lot of them are just like, no, from my cold, dead hands.
Well, especially I would think in red states, like, even though it's super obvious it's a federal law that you would be aligning with, to be the person to bring that to say, I want to remove that, you're going to get attacked. Like, it makes no logical sense, but people that attack same-sex shit are not logical in that. So, like, who's going to be the Republican whatever that brings that up?
Yep. So there's a long history in Florida of sodomy laws. And
you can say a long history of sodomy.
There is a very
Florida, the sodomy state.
Yep. So there was the lavender scare at the national level with communism and McCarthyism, and there was a big old witch hunt for gay people in the government. But
we were never enslaved.
Right. That's right.
Important note.
So why are we bitching? I'm reading a really interesting book, actually, that maybe we'll put on the list for future book club stuff. But The Deviants' War, and it's a history of the gay rights movement in the 50s, and as it pertains to this guy who started the Mattachine Society and was the victim of discrimination for his federal security clearance credentials. Anyway.
You're literally doing the Patreon segment that I called
Son of a bitch. All right. Well.
All right. So if you want to know more about butt stuff.
And the purple pamphlet, it's crazy,
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have one more thing.
Sure.
That I was going to share. Interestingly, after we decided we were going to do Florida, I came across just this past week a post in Reddit that says it's in the FTM, or female to male subreddit. It says, I just had the top surgery of my dreams in the South, and I didn't go to Florida, which I was like, why?
Interesting.
That's a random fact to throw in there. So basically this person talked about having, was looking to get top surgery and picked a doctor they were really excited about, and started, I guess I can say he because it's female to male subreddit, but he was really excited about the surgeon. He started to share the news with his friends and says, I felt a lot of judgment and sometimes even snootiness from friends who asked who was doing my operation as a way to tell me they went to a different doctor and to imply I was a fool for not doing the same.
Okay.
Which I just thought that was so interesting. One, I think that's like showed me that everyone, like all these different groups, have their own thing. Like that almost felt like the one of the trans versions of I'll take away your gay card for this. Like,
yeah.
You need to go to this doctor. They're the right doctor to go to for your top surgery. And just the amount of just the way that we like break each other down for these little things or things that we think you're supposed to do or are the right things. It just felt really relevant to the shit we talk about and interesting from a trans lens and something I would have never thought, like you have to go to the right place for your top surgery.
Yeah. Well, and why? I hope we can get to a place, and I'm guilty of it too, where instead of saying you're wrong, make another decision, we really should at the very least mollify that to a level of here's some things that might lead you to a different decision.
Yeah.
But the decision is yours, and I respect whatever you do, right?
That's something that I had to learn is before I had self-confidence, which is like most of my life, it was
like 4 days ago.
at that time yesterday when I didn't have, is because I would just take other people's opinion and say, that's what I'm doing. I think because, or a big part, because I was closeted. So I had to, like, other people had to tell me how to behave. And so it's like, oh, your opinion? That's what I'm doing. Cool. So I didn't realize, like, when someone says, no, you should do this thing or you're supposed to do that, that is one piece of feedback that I then get to take as I want and then still make my decision.
Yep.
So yeah, I think people being better at, here's information for you to know and what led me to my decision.
Yeah.
And then someone may say, okay, great, I hear you. That is not important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a microcosm for what Christians do, right? Like it's okay to say, because I'm Christian, I can't do that. But don't you dare say, because I'm Christian, you can't do that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's fucking horse shit.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that thing, that protest sign that was really good? Like, you can't eat donuts because I'm on a diet.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Which when you do your keto thing, your stupid keto thing, I eat lots of carbs. So you have not.
I have a bunch like of stored carbs that you can probably take.
Not in your body. In your
No.
Okay. Okay. That's a relief. It's going to get weird here. So Florida. Oh. Last thing. I've been chatting with the Orlando Gay Chorus. Just wanted to mention they are one of the biggest LGBT choruses of all genders. They have an event that's going to be digital called One Slice of Fruitcake on Thursday, December 17th. So if you want to watch their digital, I'm assuming singing. They didn't say specifically, but I think they're going to sing.
Concert or recital.
Yeah. Although recital reminds me of like being in elementary school and playing the piano, like doop, you know. Like, anyway, and they're also, because you know they can't do in-person shit a lot, like a lot of the arts, they're struggling to. They want to make sure they can stick around. So if you want to donate to them, they're doing a fundraiser, which we're actually going to do some promotion as well coming up. But the True Colors Giving Campaign, you can go to orlandogaychorus.org/donations.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's Florida.
Before we wrap up, I just wanted to say we've been picking on Florida, and I have lots of friends in Florida, and I don't know how that happened, but like my roommate's from Florida, and I have a bunch of fraternity brothers from Florida, and they're all wonderful people. Like I feel bad, like we've shit on their state, and like, but
they're used to it.
They're used to it.
No, I think that's true. Well, yeah, I guess we should have been a little bit more explicit too. We talked a lot about a lot of stereotypes, but I think also talked about a lot of things that broke the stereotypes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are a lot of stereotypes about Florida that, I mean, in this discussion we had to have reinforced, but they're really not true.
I mean, the number of Disney princes alone makes it the gayest state in the union, I think, or close to it. It's been, every time I visited, it's been real gay, except that time that I went with my wife. But that was also sort of gay, I guess, because I was there.
Yeah.
But did we do it?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, go vote. Or if you know people in Florida, like, just Florida is so important to the election. I think, like, everyone's like, make sure people vote. I'm not going to do that in Seattle. I'm sure get people to vote, like, fine, but Florida, it makes if you have one friend that you don't know if they're going to vote, like,
yep,
man,
pick them up and drop them off.
Definitely do that. Absolutely. Or if there's shit going on, like if people are intimidating voters or whatever, if you're like me, if you're a big dude, offer to walk your friends to the ballot place.
Yep.
Buy your gun. Yeah. Go steal a gun from a gay orgy and walk your friends. Just Florida's so critical. If we could make one more person vote in Florida, I don't think we have any kind of influence in the world, but
but it's worth a shot.
It's worth a shot.
The stakes are so high.
Mm-hmm.
Vote,
everybody. Oh yeah, everyone else too, but
especially Florida and Pennsylvania,
yep,
and maybe Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Texas, man, I'm really interested in Texas.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath on Texas.
Well, just to see. Yeah, I don't think. Anyway, yeah.
So should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Break me off a piece of that peninsula pie. I don't know. I have no idea.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
right now, like this instant.
If you're ready.
So are we back?
Oh God, yes, we're
We're back.
we're back. Wow, you did mean right this instant. Okay,
Yep.
we're gonna do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're gonna do our gayest and straightest, but first, our website
Wait,
is gay.
but first,
But first, what?
do you want to say some of the shit?
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna maybe do it after the contract.
Oh.
but that's fine. That's fine. We can do it now. So hey, listen up.
Hey.
you dirty fuckers. You need to vote. You need to vote for president, especially if you live in Florida, but you also need to vote for us. There is another set of awards online, and we have been nominated in the LGBT plus category. You can help be responsible for getting Gayish to an award-winning podcast. Fucking do it. Go to awards.discoverpods.com, and then there's a big old vote button on that screen that will take you to some other random weird-ass page.
It's like a Survey Monkey.
The Survey Monkey, yeah. But yeah, vote for us. You can also vote for a bunch of other shows that you probably haven't heard of, as long as they're in other categories.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And votes are due November. Oh, I wrote it down. By November 6th. So just be sure to get it in by then.
Yeah, get it in me.
You're voting for president round now. Get your ballots in for both at the same time.
Yep. And then next, we are turning 200. Our 200th episode is coming up in just a few episodes. This is episode 197. So, yeah.
We made it, Mike.
Longtime listeners of the show know that every 50 episodes, we do a Q&A. And we thought this time we're going to do a Q&A as always, but we're going to mix it up a little bit. We would like you to send in your questions for Kyle and I. And the topic is, what is a question you might ask one of us if we were at a class reunion? Please send us in things that you want to know.
Yeah. If you, in whatever venue, hopefully email is probably best.
Sure.
And put something about 200 in the title, in the subject line to help us find them.
Yep. And you could probably, you could, but don't, because it's bad. You could go to our website, which is gayishpodcast.com. There's a form on there to fill out to give us.
Oh, sure.
But that one ends up going to spam pretty regularly because fucking robots.
It's good now, I think.
Oh.
I think we get all your shit.
Gayishpodcast.com.
Our social media is all at Gayish Podcast. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address, Dan and I's birthdays are coming up. It's Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
I mean, it's kind of double, Dan, because Dan's second birthday, which is Halloween, is coming up. What's your tattoo say? You've told me before.
Every day is Halloween.
Every day. Oh, okay. Never mind. Then Halloween is today and tomorrow and the day after.
Speaking of our physical mailing address, we got a package. And I opened
I'm unmuting.
Yes.
I opened it, but I didn't look in.
Okay.
Yet it's from Bell Basic.
Oh, it's basic. It's for Kyle.
So excited. Unless it's pumpkin spice flavored.
There's no.
Then it's for me.
There's no papers. There's no identifying anything.
Oh.
What is it? Is it lube?
Bucked brand Phantom Realistic Cum Play Lubrication.
Wait,
hold on.
Is this blood lube?
It is colored like cum, not like blood.
Oh, that's not for me.
Realistic cum play,
Yeah.
but lube.
Oh, that's right.
No, I'm still looking. Don't reach for it. Wait, no, I don't think this is lube. I think you pretend it's cum.
I mean,
It's the snowball of your dreams in a
Is
bottle.
it edible? Does it say edible, non-toxic, anything?
It says "come for the ride." Actually, spell "come" because stay for the finish.
It says lubrication on the bottom in the tiniest of print on the very front.
Oh, so primarily it's cum replicant, but
Cum replicants.
Somebody sent us a bottle of spray cum. Great.
thank you, whoever sent that.
Thank you. Let us know who you are.
Let us know who you are so we can thank you.
Great.
And that'll be the first time I say that I played with a listener's cum.
By the way, you can have that.
Oh yeah, I knew.
Okay.
I don't need
ready for our Gayest and Straightest?
Yeah. I'll go first.
Okay, great.
So my gayest is I have a straight friend who sends me just kind of random emojis or gifts, like those people that just kind of send you anything instead of like okay or whatever.
Yeah.
And his gifts make me feel so gay, but like, because, there's like, it's just like, this is a straight person gif. And my gay friends do the gay, like Real Housewives is gay.
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race is gay.
Yeah.
Star Wars is straight.
Yeah.
Whatever the dudes he sent talking to each other in business suits is straight.
Yeah.
Like, my straightest thing is I went into the doctor to get a test for multiple things, including HIV for my prep. And the, I don't think he's a nurse, but like the attendant person, great, is it was I'm just so touch starved because of everything. Like, so he was like, getting my pulse or whatever, and like would touch me, and it was human touch that was not at all sexual, but felt nice. And so that was like, this is about nothing else. But I mean, it actually wasn't even about touching. He was about doing the job.
Sure.
But like, so nice human touch that's not sexual.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a nice segue in a way.
Ooh.
The gayest thing about me this week, I injured my back, which I've bitched about enough now. That I'm very much on the mend, though. I'll be back to the gym tomorrow. Everyone who was worried.
Everyone, calm down. You can relax. No, we've been worried about you.
I went to physical therapy on Thursday, and I filled out all the paperwork, and I went back to the room, and my physical therapist is this woman named Jennifer. And she just goes, okay, take off your shirt. And immediate panic. That's pretty gay. Of like, what do you mean? But then an even gayer, like, well, I'm not into her, so whatever, and took my shirt off. And then the straightest thing about me this week, I put that faucet in the kitchen. So our faucet broke. It was real broke. And I plumbed the new one all by myself.
You done plumbed it.
I done plumbed it.
I'm impressed. It now works, which it didn't before.
It works great.
Which I guess is another way of saying what you said, but
yeah. Although I maybe fucked up my sinuses because there's maybe a little bit of mold down there, and I got some of it in my breathing tubes.
But you fix the sink, so you can just put some sink water in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clear it out.
Absolutely. Okay, and now a listener's gayest and straightest.
The neti pot terrifies me.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, we don't have to talk about that, but it's just.
But the thing is, neti pot, they give you those little packets, and it looks like iodized salt, like from old school packets, like from a restaurant or something. And you put that in the water, and then you put it up your nose, and you have to have that part. Like, it makes the water not burn. So it's not like putting water up your nose, like when you snort it in a pool, and it immediately fucking you want to die because your shit is on fire. The packets make it not do that.
Someone, I think, did that without like sterilizing or whatever, boiling the water or whatever. Parasite. And then like, that scares me.
Yeah. You don't want no brain parasites, Kyle.
I have enough brain problems.
Florida man gets brain parasite. Our listeners' gayest and straightest this week comes from our Discord server, which is awesome and approaching 800 people.
Damn.
This is from Hidden on our Discord. Straightest, wearing trunks while swimming because I didn't pack a Speedo.
Anything that approaches your knee feels straight in shorts.
Yep. Gayest, gray sweatpants. Need I say more? It is gray sweatpants season.
It's, yeah. This is the part where I don't totally get everyone's. I don't fit the stereotype. I don't care about gray sweatpants, but.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. A special thank you to Anita Bryant.
No, and thank you to the person that pied Anita Bryant. And thank you to Wilton Manners for being so fucking queer.
Yeah, and thank you to the Golden Girls and the Meth Gator.
Thank you to the new Rent song. 538 electoral college votes.
This has been Gayish. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. vote, you fuckers.
I guess we could have said thank you to Florida for dealing with this.
That's true.
Thanks, Florida.
I'm clicking stop now.